If we go without this bubble for more than 5 minutes, we lose consciousness. If you haven't taken the time to learn how to diagnose the root of all frustration, there is an answer. Are you going to allow your environment to dictate how you approach the world, the suffering that the world produces every single day? These environments are inevitably going to bring upon suffering towards you. Lovely people, welcome to episode 15 of Nash, where I speak to the camera without any preconceived idea of what I'm going to say, nor a script, just one chain of continuous conscious thought. Now, today I would like to talk about input and output. The inputs of this material world, the external factors of life that can impede on our thoughts, that it can impede on our feelings, our emotions, and how those inputs direct our outputs. Now, similarly, it works in the opposite direction. If you have a very good understanding of yourself, your inner peace, how to achieve that inner peace, then your outputs will essentially direct the way that the world moves and rotates in your direction along with your flow. But it's not easy to achieve for everyone. Let's look at an example. This week I had to install a new tap for my mum at her place. And I am no plumber, but when I did start installing this tap, I encountered a few issues. I tried fixing them with little quick fixes. And as I delved deeper into this process, I began getting more frustrated. Less frustrated at the situation and more frustrated at myself. Now, eventually I did figure out how to make this work, but that wasn't until I asked for help. I asked for help from a professional to get a very good idea of what it was that I was doing to get the best outcome that I could achieve. And in the end, it was a very easy fix. But without the right inputs, we tend to think better of ourselves, that we can essentially harness control of particular situations to work in our favor. But at the base, at the root of all frustration, there is an answer. So upon reflecting on this frustration of mine, delving into how to make this damn tap work, I thought back, and it was based upon how my father would try to fix things around the house and only do half a job. This would frustrate my mother, and I believe that this inner frustration was passed down upon me. Now, I could be completely wrong in this theory, but by delving in and thinking, hey, am I only going to be doing a half-assed job on something that I don't fully understand without asking for help? Or am I going to suck up my pride, ask for help, and get the job done properly? There are elements of our parents that we do want to take on board. These elements are the things that they showed us in early childhood. The elements that we tend to reject are those that they had taken upon their own parents through their own conditioning. And a lot of the time, these frustrations that appeared, whether it was between the dynamic of their relationship or through a frustration based on earlier childhood years from their parents, they inevitably get thrown down to us. This is a good example of an input based on conditioning. conditioning from the childhood, not necessarily a trauma, but a frustration shared through the dynamics of your upbringing. Now, this is just a small example of how that you can trace back your emotions, your frustrations, your anger, your sadness. You can trace it back. Bring it back. Try to fully understand how this particular input has impeded on your emotions in the present. Because understanding that emotion will reflect on your output. If I were to take upon that frustration and blurt it out to the world, those around me in that particular moment would also feel that frustration, that particular energy, not necessarily a positive energy. Now, we can't be perfect all the time, and chasing perfection is an absolute burden, as there's so much growth within failure. And we need to be prepared to fail many times over until we find that success. Whether that be in business, whether that be fixing a tap, whether that be putting a band-aid on a particular case scenario within your relationship. Because we all know that popping an aspirin or chucking on a band-aid isn't always the best bet in healing something that needs to be fixed from a deeper place. So inputs and outputs. Another case scenario of an input is from this material world, our environment. Are you going to allow your environment to dictate how you approach the world? You know, if you don't properly understand your inner self, and this is a journey that we're all on forever until our time comes, if you don't properly understand how to direct those emotions within, how do you expect to take upon the traumas, the impeding devastations of the world, the suffering that the world produces every single day? These environments are inevitably going to bring upon suffering towards you. So it's up to you to decide how you will react. This can be the little things. This can be from your inner circle, the circle at which you live within every day, the environments that you live in every day, your household, the people you choose to live with. Because at the end of the day, we are accountable for where we put ourselves and the people we choose to surround ourselves with, the environments. We can always make a change, regardless of how hard that may be. But if we take on these environments and not take them for granted, but take them upon ourselves and think, hey, this is the way it's going to be forever, then there is no chance for you to walk a separate path beyond these environments. It's very easy to get caught up in the frustration of others and allow those external forces, those outside energies, the environments that are built within your circle to have a huge influence on the way you project to the world as a consequence of that. You know, you may live within the slums as an example. You may see yourself in these slums, but it's not until you understand the fabric of thought, the fabric of thought and how you weave these particular emotions together in order to construct a sense of freedom, to see the world through the lens as a lens that you can choose. You have complete control over how you choose to see the world, how you choose to put your energies out there, your output. I understand it can be very difficult at times. And the more we take on these energies, the harder it is to navigate those energies, those emotions through our bodies without reflecting them back. So, how are you supposed to take a bowl of these energies and not reflect them? It all starts within. It all starts from within your own sense of thought, your own emotional body. If you're not taking care of yourself, of your body, this vessel, how do you expect to navigate through these difficult emotions and these inputs without reflecting them in a bad, negative way? So, some of the best things that you can do. Breathwork. Understand that our breath is essentially the meaning behind our consciousness as a whole. Let's look at this circle just here, this bubble of energy right in front of me, full of air, full of the one particular thing that we need to survive. If we go without this bubble for more than 5 minutes, we lose consciousness. So in a degree, in one way of perceiving it, right here is consciousness. Because if we don't breathe it in, our consciousness ceases to be. This is the most important input that human beings need. The second, our fuel. How are you feeding yourself? The input that you decide, the foods, the fuel that you decide to nourish your body with, has a direct impact upon your mental health and your spiritual being. If you're filling your bodies with nasty seed oils, pesticides, the list goes on. Anything that essentially is not organic and that has been heavily produced, avoid. Even to the degree of buying your eggs. How many hens per hectare are on this free range? The quality of eggs matters. The quality of your food matters. And it directly influences how you feel. Which leads into the vessel. Are you exercising enough? This doesn't mean that you need to go to the gym for 3 hours a day. But getting your heart pumping to improve cardiovascular health, trying to get it to an above average for at least 30 minutes a day, is incredibly important for anyone, any human being. Now, of course, there are some people that are incapable of moving these bodies, so for those that can, it's something that should not be ignored. The next is sleep. Sleep is incredibly important. If are only getting a couple of hours sleep every night, you will notice a direct correlation to your tolerance levels in different situations that tend to come your way, the inputs that come your way. Sleep is very important. And to combine sleep and your nutrition habits, we come to fasting. Fasting has been proven time and time again to be one of the best methods in healing. You heal the body, you will heal the mind, and inevitably you will heal the soul. So our inputs are different for everyone. And they're just some very basic inputs. Next would come meditation. Next would come being sociable with the right people. Putting yourself in the right environments to establish a grounded being, someone that you're happy with. Because only then can you guarantee incredible outputs for those that need to hear your voice, that need to channel your wisdom in a way that can help themselves. Which leads on to our next portion of input. When someone asks you for help. If someone asks you for help and you don't have the answer, you must give them the sacred no. The sacred no, if you don't know what this is, it's very easy to understand. It essentially means that you say no to someone because their question, their seek for help, is an absolute yes or a fuck yes for another person that can help them directly. If you can't see a past version of yourself that has navigated through this tough situation, that has found a solution in what this person is asking, then there's a good chance that person's help is not required from you. You cannot help them if you cannot help a past version of yourself. This does not mean that you need to have experienced exactly what they're going through. But if you haven't taken the time to learn how to diagnose the exact issues going on with that person and their question and their seek for help, don't say yes just for the sake of saying yes. If you're not a guru in that particular field, say no. If you're looking for money and someone comes to you saying, here, take my money, help me, but you know that you can't properly help them, say no. That is a sacred no. And as soon as you give them the sacred no, one, they will find someone that can help them in a much better way. But it also means that there's something better waiting for you on the other side. The sacred no isn't a no forever. It is saying yes to the next opportunity that is coming your way. In this case, no means yes. In the best way. So, be a fuck yes or a sacred no dealer. Because people will truly appreciate you for who you are when you are honest, not with them, but with yourself. And it's seen, it's felt, and it's heard. Now, I could continue on this path talking about inputs and outputs, but I think I want to wrap it up here for today. And by doing so, let's have 3 deep breaths together and have a little reflection upon what we have spoken about today. So get yourself in a comfortable position, hands in either chin or Yana Mudra. Straighten your back, roll back your shoulders. And just a little exhale, remove that air from within. And inhale up the spine. Your inputs directly correlate to your outputs. Understanding the sacred no will inevitably bring upon better outputs in your own life and the lives of others that you choose to surround yourself with. Exhale. Inhale. When the external material world tends to pronounce you with frustrations that you cannot currently deal with in the present you, look within. Understand that these inputs will not, I repeat, will not be the outputs that you choose to present the world. Exhale. Inhale. May you go forward with your day knowing that you are the founder of your own self, your own soul, and that when the inputs of the external try to influence you in any other way other than the positive direction in which you walk, be okay with taking them on board and allowing them to pass. Exhale. Well, thank you once again for joining me. It always feels amazing to finish a YouTube video because speaking for 20 minutes isn't always the easiest thing, but this is part of how I choose to reflect my outputs based on the inputs that I've received throughout the week. And there are certainly other things that I may have been able to touch on, but today I thought that was enough. And if you've noticed, I'm once again at Anstey Hill in South Australia. It's a beautiful location. There are hundreds of kangaroos surrounding me right now. Not that you can see them, but a lovely place to drop in and to speak my truth. And let this be your little reminder today that your word is heard. Your wisdom can be shared. And the only way to do that is to look within, to recognize that your outputs are truly important, and that someone out there, even if it's only one person, that someone can benefit from your words, then you have done something great to help the world shift into a better direction, especially when there are so many things happening in the world that are difficult to navigate. So once again, thank you for joining me. I appreciate you all so much, and I will see you next week. Remember, get out there, have fun, play safe, be kind to one another, and bless you all. Leg, not good. I can't walk.